If you've seen that video where I was sharing why I love living in the UK and why I love this country, yes, I love this country, but there's always a but. Every places where you will go in the world, there's the good and there's the bad. I gave you the good. Let me now tell you the bad according to my own experience. If you are a black woman who is planning to move in the UK, there's a few things you should know. So stay tuned till the end. I'm going to tell you what to look for, what to pay attention for, and what you should expect. I spent 24 years in this country, and these are things that I struggled with and that I didn't hear a lot of people talking about. We're going to start with healthcare. In the UK, when you go to the hospital, to the surgery, see the GP, you have to be able to advocate for yourself. The thing is, as black people, we don't bruise the same way. Like I could be in an accident, like I've just burned myself today, right? I pour the water from the kettle on my body and I have some blister on my stomach. But I'm not red or blue or whatever. You barely see it because I have a dark skin. And unfortunately, a lot of the time when you go to the GP, you have to almost exaggerate for them to pay attention and understand that you are in pain. And we always had to do extra, almost being comedian when going to the GP, because they were not able to understand our pain, that we could also. Let me give you an example. My daughters were in a car accident, both of them. A guy came behind them and hit them hard, and they went into another car that went into another car. They were traumatized by that accident, so I took them to the hospital. They stood there for hours. The lady was keep calling people and ignoring them. That was issue one. And then there's somebody that called them, saw that they've been standing there for a while, and they said that they were in a car accident. So they saw them for just a few minutes, and they're like, okay, go home, have paracetamol. They didn't check x-ray or anything to see if there was something broken, something that was not showing on the skin, right? And that's something that shocked us. And it's not the first time. It's happened countless of times where I had to tell my kids, when you arrive to the hospital or to the GP, you have to accentuate your pain 100 times more for them to believe you. If you have to throw yourself on the floor, throw yourself on the floor. Because the thing is, they can't see the bruises. They can't see we're not red, we're not blue. The skin doesn't show anything. Then they don't take it seriously. And we often misdiagnosed because they just can't believe that we are also in pain. So that's something that troubled me in the UK. And even when I gave birth to my second kid that was born here, I called the hospital to say that my water broke, etc. And she was asking me how was the pain, and I was explaining to her. And she's like, no, don't come now, come later. After a while, I was so much in pain, I keep calling. They're like, no, stay. My husband say, we're not listening to that, let's go. Guys, I gave birth in the car just on the front of the hospital because nobody will believe that what I was saying. I was actually in pain. My daughter had jaundice that they didn't see at the hospital, and even at home when there's a nurse that come and see you for the first week when you're back home, and she visits you. I don't know how long, I can't remember, to be honest. My daughter had jaundice for a very long time, and I went to see the general practitioner of the surgery, okay, and he couldn't see anything. I had to go and advocate so hard for my child because jaundice can be very dangerous for a newborn. And yes, after fighting with them, they had to recognize, it was so easy to see. She had yellow eyes, her skin was yellow. But because she's dark, they couldn't recognize it. And these are just a few examples. So many things happen where I needed to fight the doctor, tell them to hear what I'm saying. And I had to go even with my adult daughters because they're both very British. meaning that they can't fight for themselves. They're way too polite. So I had to go with them, even at the young adult age, to advocate for them, for what they couldn't say to the GP, in order for the GP to take them seriously and give them the care that they needed. And that's one big issue here, that because we don't bruise, even for the in French it's called the péridurale, what they give you when you give birth, when you're about to give birth for the pain. They wouldn't give it to me. They wouldn't, I don't know, no matter what I've asked, like even the gas or whatever, because I was not feeling well, I was not given anything. I was in so much pain. I know they've improved, they definitely improved, but there's still a long way to go. There's still a long way to go. Alongside this, my eldest daughter, who is often sick during winter, at work, when one of her friends who is, white, was sick, they have red nose, you can see they're sick. And my daughter, in contrary, when she was sick, she actually have to force the management to let her go, because they wouldn't, because she didn't look sick. And funny enough, they told us, because she went to say, when my friend arrived, they just at the door, and you're like, oh, you shouldn't have come to work. You should go back. You should go back home and rest. And I have to fight every single day. If I'm not well, you will want me to stay. And when I'm telling you that I'm sick, I need to go, I still have to fight for you to let me go. And the supervisor said, yeah, but you never look sick. I can't tell. It's unfortunate, but that's something that is common. That's something that I experience. And mind you, I've been working mainly for myself and from home for over 20 years, really. So I didn't really have to deal with the workplace that much. Imagine for people who have to face that daily. Right, we're just going to travel through this one very quickly. The food in the UK. The good thing is there's a lot of international food, Indian food, Chinese food, a lot of international food here. African food, you'll find them here. French food. But when it comes to the British food, well, they do roast with gravy, potatoes, etc. Typical Sunday roast. There's, of course, the famous fish and chips. But when it comes to culinary food in the UK, you don't come to the UK for food. I will tell you that the first year when we moved in the UK, we used to go to Calais. We took the ferry or the Eurotunnel, the train, to go back to France. I don't know, every so often, every 3 months, maybe, I don't know, to shop in Carrefour, because we couldn't find food that we could appreciate in the UK. So the UK is definitely not the place where you would say, okay, I'm gonna taste a British delicacy. The pastry is way too sugary. It's diabetic in a plate. Okay, the birthday cakes, any cakes done in the UK, there's always too much sugar, and that icing, you're just eating sugar. Yes, the garlic bread, something that I love. Definitely, that's one of the good thing here. English breakfast is definitely one of the healthy, depending on how you do it, one of the healthiest and good breakfast. But the food is definitely not a place where you're like, okay, I'm going to go to the UK to taste good cuisine. Hair care, doing my hair in the UK cost me an arm and a leg. Luckily, I do my hair myself, because if you want to do extension, braids, whatever, it costs so much money. Yeah, this is something that I didn't like here. So I always done my hair myself. I never, ever, ever, ever been at the hairdresser in the UK. Way too expensive for me. And I did my kids' hair as well, because I know how to do hair. And when I wanted to do my hair, I would just wait to go to Africa, when I travel to Africa, to do my hair, or I would just do them myself. It's too expensive. And mainly when we moved here, there was only one salon of, black hair, doing black hair. So they are very expensive, because they were the only one. But now there's a lot of option, but still expensive. The price are maybe, the price haven't even come down. It's very difficult to have your hair done in the UK for less than £100. You know, here when you want to do your hair in the UK and you're a black person, you have to budget it. Like I budget for my flight, I have to budget for hair. No, I rather save money and do my hair myself. So it's something that you need to take into account if you want to do your hair here. But now if you're coming from America, you may find that the prices are okay, but for me, way too expensive. And you know, the famous weather in the UK, you know, the rain, the cold, and being wet, the weather being wet all the time. It's something that was difficult for me because I love the sun in my life. I love seeing the sun. And with the weather as well, when it's cold, right? And when you have, like me, at a certain age, you start developing things like arthritis, it doesn't do well with being in a cold place. So the UK is definitely not a place where I want to retire. And it's not a place where I want to live during the winter, because it definitely not, because it does not agree with my body, with my health. British people, for 24 years that I've been here, I'm not able to make friends with British people. They're friends for season, you know, they're like, when our kids were primary school, we had friends for play dates for our kids. So we were friendly with the moms. Once school finished, everybody goes their own way. And British people are also those people where you may meet the evening before and have a drink together and have a fantastic conversation. Let's say after church, there was like a hall where we usually went there to go have a tea. And you have conversation with people. The few minutes later, you're outside, they meet you across the road, they go the other way, or they pass you like they have never seen you, never heard about you. I was like, huh? Isn't that... What happened? Yeah, so many times that it's very difficult to be friends with British people. I've been here for 24 years. I don't have British friends. All my friends are immigrants. So my best friend is French, my other French friend is French, one is Russian. So yes, I love the UK. Despite all of that, I love the UK. But I think if you're planning to come and live in the UK, it's things that you may want to know, whether you're a black lady or not. Because before going to the GP, the only thing they will tell you is go home, wait 2 weeks, have paracetamol. It's very difficult for them to give you treatment, to give you blood tests, to check, you know, the root cause. They will usually just put a plaster over it. But nowadays, they're trying, mainly ladies. Like, I don't go see a doctor, a male doctor. I don't. Okay, I'm not saying that the entire UK male doctors are like that, but those from my surgery traumatized me so much that I've left a note on my account to say that it's against my religion to be seen by a male doctor, because I couldn't. They were just like, you know, 2 seconds looking at the clock, not looking at you, and like, okay, have paracetamol and let's see you in 2 weeks. Yeah. It improved. I have a doctor that's following me for diabetes at the moment, and I like him, you know, but it's over the phone. I've seen him once or twice. He's not bad at all. But it took time. It took like, you know, it's 24 years and I've just started being treated with him less than a year. So it's improving, but it's something to know that you really need to advocate for yourself if you want them to take you seriously and to get the treatment that you deserve. Tell me in the comment, guys, what is your biggest struggle when you live abroad? Or if you've been living in the UK, you're a black woman or not, what has your experience been like in the UK as an immigrant? Let me know.